led by the President of the Senate, the Vice President of the United States. Mr. Vice President, how are you feeling? Is it awkward to be there with the President almost acquitted or maybe... Okay. We tried. How are you feeling, Senator?
Feeling good.
Senator Shelby, can you stop for 1 second?
I can't stop.
Okay, you can't stop. We're trying here. The senators, I would just tell you one of the reasons why they're not stopping is because it's tradition. To be fair, it is tradition for them to walk together. And you can see that they're walking, a lot of them, Senator Romney, a lot of them are walking with members of the Senate of the opposite party. So I can keep trying to get them to stop. Senator, would you like to stop?
My, oh my, isn't that embarrassing? Not a single Republican senator is giving CNN the time of day, and why should they? Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching CNN anymore. We're going to look at the latest fail for CNN that happened on live television, but also we want to provide consolation for that reporter by reminding her that her embarrassment was seen by virtually no one. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here. It's so awesome to be with you as always. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You are not going to want to miss a single video analyzing current events in light of super awesome conservative trends all over the world so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. And hey, guess what? We've got a brand new free resource for you. It's giveaway time, all right? I'm often asked what news sites I frequent to get my information, and I decided to sit down and just put them all together for you. There are about 20 sites that I go to, and we put them all together as a free download that we're calling our fake news antidote. How do you like that? And you can download it completely free at the link down below in the pinned comments section. I think you're really, really going to enjoy it as my gift to you. And before we get into the abysmal ratings for the king of fake news, CNN, let's give a huge shout out to one of our most important sponsors, and that's My Patriot Food Supply. And I say they're one of the most important. We love all our sponsors, of course, but My Patriot Supply is the resource we would all want in the midst of this insane coronavirus outbreak. Look, you know I am not about scaremongering here, right? I'm not a build your bunker kind of guy. You got plenty of those on YouTube you can watch. But we do have to be prepared, and we owe that to ourselves, our families. We don't want to wait for an emergency before we prepare for one. And so our good friends over at My Patriot Supply are offering 40% off a 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website by clicking on the link below. Preparing for emergencies has simply never been easier and more affordable. So take action today by clicking on that link below and save 40% off with your 2-week emergency food kit. I've got mine. Make sure to get yours. All right, so CNN once again demonstrates itself to be an utter embarrassment. A reporter is there in the halls of Congress trying to get one of the senators on their way to the State of the Union that Trump delivered Tuesday night, just to get one of them to have an interview with her. Anyone, I'll do anything. And they all just walk past her, both Democrats and Republicans, astonishingly. They don't want anything to do with her. They don't care about CNN anymore. They're being led by Vice President Mike Pence, who's the leader of the Senate. And this reporter tries to get Pence with a gotcha question. She had this pathetically released question. Is it awkward to be with the president? Almost acquitted, maybe. I love incoherence, and she couldn't even get the question out. It was so pathetic. So Pence walks right by her. He doesn't give her the time of day. And that was just the beginning. Senator after senator on live television snubs CNN. The reporter's clearly embarrassed, tries to make the best of it, but there was no spinning it. CNN was once again completely ignored by Washington, D.C. Now, this stands on the heels of another incident that happened just a couple of weeks back when a Republican senator told off a CNN so-called reporter and refused to answer his loaded question. We did a video on this that you will definitely want to check out if you haven't already done so. I'll put a link down below in the pinned comment section as well. But if you remember, Arizona Senator Martha McSally, she was on her way to the Senate trial of President Trump when the CNN reporter named Manu Raju approached her and asked her this utterly outrageous question, right? He asked her, would she reconsider her position on Trump in light of new evidence that's just come out? And here he was referencing the stunt that Rachel Maddow at MSNBC pulled with the Ukrainian Lev Parnas and his wild accusations that Trump and Pence and even Attorney General Bill Barr all explicitly ordered him to call Ukrainian President Zelensky and tell him he's not going to see a dime until he investigates the Bidens. Ironically, this is old news. The New York Times reported on that months ago, and it was dismissed as a total farce. The Justice Department dismissed its claims as ridiculous. But that didn't stop Rachel Maddow from trying to save face from 2 years of her Russian collusion lies and fail. And so the CNN so-called reporter, Manu Raju, asked Senator McSally if she'll consider her position on Trump in light of this supposed new evidence. And by the way, you'll notice that these left-wing activists disguised as journalists never ask left-wing liberals those questions. Are you ready now to acquit President Trump, given the fact that even liberals are admitting that the charges against him are spurious? You'll notice that question is never asked by CNN or any other Marxist media outlet. So he asked this question, and her response as she's just walking to the Senate chambers was absolutely stunning. Now, this is a CNN reporter, and she looks at him and completely and totally dismisses him, walking past him and saying, Manu, you're a liberal hack. I'm not talking to you. And he's shocked because he's on live TV. So he's, you're not going to comment, Senator? And she repeated herself, God bless her, you're a liberal hack. So Raju had his feelings hurt, quite obviously, because he took to Twitter and claimed that McSally lashed out at him. She was so mean. Can you believe that? And, I'm a professional journalist. And she, instead of commenting on the objectivity of my wonderful question, she just lashed out at me. It hurt so much. So McSally doubles down. She tweeted a response to him. A, you are a liberal hack. And B, here's the video of the exchange. So the senator's snubs are not unprecedented, and they appear to be becoming almost a bit of a pattern, which would be wonderful, because that would mean that CNN is finally losing any and all credibility as a legitimate news organization in Washington, D.C. And as such, I think we're finally seeing a shift in the sentiments of our politicians that are more in line with the sentiments of the conservative rank and file. Again, we talked about this in that other video that I've linked down for you. For decades, conservative politicians have been playing this game, this elitist kabuki theater, where they actually treated these left-wing activists as serious journalists, as pillars of democracy. And what that did is it opened up a very noticeable gap between the people, the rank and file, the populace, and the ruling class, the governing elites. Since the people all recognized that CNN and the whole of the mainstream media were nothing more than a bunch of left-wing activists disguised as journalists. They were clowns. With the coming of Trump, we're now seeing that gap disappear. Trump's sentiments are our sentiments, right? Laura Ingraham pointed this out. Trump says to the news media and to Pelosi and to Schumer what at least 50% of the nation wants to say to them. There's no longer this chasm between the ruling class and the ruled. And the closing of that gap has been an enormous accomplishment by Trump. And now that the gap is closed, the context is there for other conservative politicians to now follow suit, which is what they seem to be doing more and more of. More and more of the conservative ruling class are sounding like the ruled and are thereby breaking down the barrier that globalist societies depend on for their proper functioning. This is what a populist governing order looks like. And this disregard, this dismissal of CNN in Washington, D.C., it's just a microcosm of their collapsing ratings across the country. The ratings are out for the week of January 27th. Obviously, a very heavy news week with the Senate trial climaxing and all that. Fox News Channel dominated the ratings with 3.4 million primetime viewers. Then came MSNBC with 1.5 million. Then you had the sports channel ESPN with 1.2 million. Then you had Home and Garden Television with 1.1 million. And In distant fifth place, we get a glimpse of CNN with barely 1 million primetime viewers. And all this during one of the most news-heavy weeks in recent memory. CNN, in the midst of Trump's trial, couldn't even get 1 million viewers. This is emphatically not a major news organization anymore. And these embarrassing ratings are really just par for the course of CNN. During their regular news cycles, CNN's primetime lineup doesn't even make the 10 most watched programs on cable. In fact, CNN doesn't even make the top 20. Don Lemon has some of the worst ratings, if not the worst rating, of any news anchor on cable television. That's saying something. According to the latest Nielsen ratings, Don Lemon's show, CNN Tonight, if you can believe it, ranks 35th among all other primetime cable shows. Let that hit you. 35th. It's Chris Cuomo. He's ranked at 25th. Anderson Cooper, 26th. I mean, Don Lemon himself does not even get close to 1 million people anymore. More people are watching YouTubers, right, than are watching Don Lemon. And this is at least partly why CNN has had to lay off hundreds of workers recently. We did a video on that you're going to absolutely love, how CNN and other left-wing news outlets have had to lay off workers, more workers in a single year of 2019 that they've laid off in the last 4 to 5 years combined. Click on the link at the top right of the video and check it out, or I'll go ahead and link it down for you below as well for your reference. Yeah, I mean, we just have to see. CNN simply can't continue to have a major primetime show like Don Lemon's that's stuck in the mid-30s in terms of the Nielsen ratings and continue to call itself a news organization. I mean, Turner Classics are getting better ratings. I mean, this is not a major cable news network anymore. So we never tire here on this channel, celebrating the inevitable implosion of CNN. And I'm glad to see that when it comes to embarrassing examples of such an implosion, CNN never, ever disappoints. Before you go, don't miss the video I just uploaded that analyzes Trump's acquittal. What I get into is I show what we predicted with our first video several months back, right after Pelosi made the announcement they were going to pursue impeachment. And then I took a look at what actually happened. And here's a hint. It was worse for the Democrats than I even predicted. So make sure to click on the link and I'll see you over there. God bless.